Welcome to Secular Soup. Stay tuned for real talk about atheism, feminism, politics, parenting, and whatever the fuck else Amy and Amy want to talk about, because this is their show. And get ready for a whole lot of motherfucking profanity.
You want to hear a secret?
I won't tell anybody. Go ahead. If I sit next to you, I'm going to get gonorrhea. It's going to jump into me. Just two ladies hanging out.
Is it okay for me to make fun of his neck waddle if I make fun of my own neck waddle?
I'm not sure.
That's a real ethical conundrum.
Would you know if you were born a lizard person, or can you be like adopted into the...
I think you know.
We're such professionals.
We really are.
Buckle up, bitches. It's time to have some soup.
I'm Amy with a Y.
And I'm Amy with an I.
And we're just two blueberries floating in a bowl of conspiracy theories. You're listening to Conspiracy Chowder, which is a bonus series that patrons get when they become patrons of our Secular Soup podcast. Because I'm a professional, I just hit the button on my cell phone and it opened up a whole bunch of shit, and I'm just...
That noise is from 1990.
Dun-dun, dun-dun. Yeah, it's when you hit the button and it wants you to ask it something, but I don't like talking to my phone because my phone, frankly, is not that smart.
Oh, that's what that noise was. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's holding down the button too long, so it's like, what do you need? Ask me something.
I had this,
so I can give you shitty
old
results.
phone that when you swipe through the screens, it would open up like an assist. It was like, hey, I never loaded it, but it was always there if I swiped too far. And I would like swipe over and it was like, would you like to load up this? I'm here to help you. I'm like, no, how do I get away?
You're here to be annoying. Just stop.
Go away. I can't even remember what it was called. I never used it. It was...
I know my computer and phone assistants. They just don't.
Contra or whatever. And then my phone has something. And
so... Your phone. Yeah. So this leads into what we're talking about. Today we're discussing QAnon and some other thing. We'll see where it goes, frankly.
We're basically exploring the truth.
Exactly. We don't have to stick to QAnon. If that leads us somewhere else, we're going to go there too.
It's a rabbit hole. They have strong opinions on masks and
they're right.
Bill Gates and pizza. And I think they're pro pizza. I'm not sure. I haven't read that far. I haven't watched all the YouTube videos.
I mean, if they're not pro pizza, then I can't get on board with this because I'm an American and I have to have my pizza.
Well, I did extensive research. I was telling
Let's
you
start with your research here.
Right. Yeah, I was telling you before we hit record, but I'll say it again for all the lovely people. So I was like, let me research QAnon and deep state. And I went to Google because, that's what you do is you go to Google. Yep. But it was all, liberal leaning media articles where it was like NPR, Wall Street Journal, because it's my Google. So obviously it's skewed.
Media. Yep.
Yeah. So it's obviously skewed with, the liberal leaning because most of my life and research is liberal leaning. So I was like, how do I find the truth, like that kernel of truth? So I went to Facebook and I put in deep state and I found Facebook pages that are all YouTube videos and pharma spelled with an F. So I think that's where the truth lies. I'm going to lean heavily on that page
I think you're right. And I think if you went on Twitter, you might get a similar result.
Twitter, exactly. I saw Twitter links, but I don't enjoy
the Twitter. Twitter's too complicated for my tiny lady brain. It's just too much.
I have friends that are like so into TikTok, and I really want to enjoy TikTok because there's lots of content out there, but I don't even understand.
I don't frankly understand when you get on TikTok what you're supposed to do.
I've done it. I've downloaded it like 3 times, then I uninstall it because the government said that it was bad. So, but then I download it again, and then I, heart some things and follow some things, but apparently you can follow entire stories. There's like cult survivors. There's a lot of content out there. Like that's where a lot of uprisings are starting. And I feel like that's part of that, but I'm also very old.
Well, and it's also a way for the government to just spew misinformation at you and then you believe it because it's catchy and it's a short thing. And that's how they control our minds. So
exactly.
I don't know. So QAnon, I still don't think I fully understand what QAnon is. Is Q a person? Is QAnon? I mean, I assume the Anon stands for anonymous. So what the fuck is it? I can't. Do you have any clue? Have you done enough research to actually figure out what QAnon is? Because that's my whole. I can't even get past that.
Sorry, I'm sending a dirty text. Yeah, let me research that.
Because we're professionals.
I'm such a professional.
All right, I'm reading the daily newspaper on my phone.
Okay,
I realized. I was just going to say, if you haven't seen us on Utah Outcasts, we were on Utah Outcasts a few weeks ago, and I started watching the video and realized I was just looking at my phone the whole time, like a giant unprofessional bitch. Okay, and I realized it's because I forgot. I forgot that people can see me when you're doing a YouTube show.
Oh, yeah. That's so it's YouTube and they can actually see us.
Yes. Usually I'm used to just staring at my phone with no judgment because nobody can see me doing it. So this is how we podcast.
Okay. I don't know what it stands for. It's just Q.
See, I feel like the Q part is like there was a person.
It's probably anonymous, but there's like take the oath. There's a lot of...
Mm-hmm. Are the Freemasons involved?
History.
Because I feel like the Freemasons are involved in everything.
2000. Anon refers to anonymous or pseudo-anonymous internet poster. The concept of anons, quote-unquote, doing research and claiming to disclose otherwise classified information, while a key component of the QAnon conspiracy theory, is by no means exclusive. Before Q, a number of so-called Anons also claimed to have special government access. So this is the thing when someone posts something like really off the wall, I'm like, isn't it, like I'm an asshole on the internet. I'm like, isn't it awesome that some rando McRandomstein has access to super exclusive information? You're a dog walker. Like, this is amazing that you have access to this information.
Well, and the thing is, you have to figure it all out. Once you've figured out the puzzle,
oh my God,
then you can wake everybody else up to it. I've said this before, and I'm just going to say it again. My problem with conspiracy theories is you are counting on a lot of people to do a lot of intricate things correctly and to keep a secret.
Right. Have you met people?
You cannot get enough people to keep a fucking secret about anything. So to believe that there are secret groups where people are maintaining the secret and you can't find out about it unless you go deep into the internet. And no.
Right.
That's bullshit. Come on. Have you met people?
They were the ones that were like convinced that Hillary would be imprisoned if Trump were made president. It's 4 years later. She's still walking free.
I feel like conspiracies are kind of like religion in that religion makes people feel better about how something is controlling everything so they don't feel like the world is chaotic. And I think conspiracy theories do the same thing where it's nice to feel like there's a plan to everything. You want to have a level of control. Yeah.
And you want to feel like you're special.
The shitty things aren't just because people are shitty. It's because there's this group that's trying to take everything for themselves and you know about it now. So you're in a privileged position to be able to tell everybody else and evangelize about it. And it's pretty much the same thing as fundamentalist religion. Just saying.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Well, I found the origin. A person identified as Q Clearance Patriot first appeared on the board of a 4chan. Of course, it was 4chan. Mm-hmm. Yeah, on October 28th, 2017, posting in a thread titled Calm Before the Storm, as a reference to Trump's cryptic description of gathering of United States military leaders he attended as the calm before the storm. The storm is a QAnon parlance for imminent event when thousands of alleged suspects will be arrested, imprisoned, and executed.
I've heard about this.
Right.
Well, I mean, I've heard about QAnon, but I've heard this part of the
top secret access information,
I've heard
pamphlet QAnon.
I should have pulled this up before we recorded because research would have been a good idea, but I'm tired.
I have research. I have extensive.
And you did all the research this time. I'm fucking tired. So, but I did see part of this whole conspiracy is that people believe that Trump is actually behind the scenes doing something that is going to save the world.
Oh, yeah.
Like he's going to save America, and we don't realize it yet, which is sad.
I'm pretty sure he's incontinent. Like, I don't think he can keep his pants clean.
That's all part of the act, though, Amy.
Okay.
He's got to act like that.
I'm just saying, I've worked in nursing homes on and off, like, a lot. And, yeah.
I feel like that the color of his hair just probably matches the color that his pants are sometimes.
That's gross.
But yeah, I just, like, really? You think...
I mean, no shame. I've had 3 kids. Like, there are some days I sneeze
we've all
just
been
right.
there. It happens. Yeah. Ladies, you know what I'm talking about.
Well, okay, so it was Penn from Penn and Teller that called it...
cotton candy.
Piss-colored cotton candy.
Piss-flavored cotton candy. Or no, piss, I don't remember. Either way, it was really cute.
It's basically cotton candy made of piss.
Yeah. That's what he said
Yep. Yeah, on some other show that won't be named.
And you can't not see that every time you look at him.
You can't not see it every time you see it, and I have to give it to everybody else because they probably don't listen to this podcast that's unnamed.
I think everybody listens to every podcast. I mean, everybody's listening to this one, right? That's how we get the word out about our conspiracies.
They really should.
So, yeah.
I'm hoping this beer is not bad. It's from March. It's August.
It's probably bad. I don't know anything about beer, but
it's real
thick,
sounds bad. But I don't know if it was thick before. I can't remember. It doesn't taste bad, but maybe it just means it's more alcoholic since I'm out of whiskey.
Could be.
Hopefully.
So QAnon. So I have a gentleman who lives in my town. I talked about this, I think, a little bit on the Utah Outcasts show, in fact. We have a gentleman who lives in town who is a big proponent of QAnon. He is...
Oh, yeah, we have truthers in town, too.
Yeah, he's becoming apparently quite famous on the internets, which is where they spread all of the lamestream information that really just confuses all of us. So it's good that there's people like him on it. But his name is Dylan Wheeler. And I say that because he's public all over the place, so I don't give a shit about... He doesn't want to be protected. He wants to be platformed. And he has got, last time I checked, over 1,800 patrons. And if you watch a video with him, he is the craziest motherfucker. Like, I know we're not supposed to use crazy anymore, but I don't know how to describe him. He's a true believer. In QAnon and in this conspiracies.
People are literally believers. I have a couple of friends still on Facebook that I go to their pages every now and then, and it is just astounding to me because everything they post is flagged by Facebook. I've never had anything I've ever shared get flagged by Facebook, but everything is flagged for not being true. Everything. And they're just like, yeah, look at this, shutting me down, shutting down the truth. I'm like, oh my God, everything you're posting, every article, every video, every meme, everything you're posting is flagged for being false. Like at some point,
I feel like that feeds into their delusion, though, and makes it even stronger.
But at some point, wouldn't you step back if everything you were posting was flagged for not being true? I'm like, you know what? I'm going to look into this a little more and find out why the sky isn't purple, like I keep claiming. You know. But they don't. Like, it's not hard. And these are people we went to school with. These are people we grew up with. These are friends and family. I don't understand how it's not hard to just do a little bit of research.
Just the basic amount.
Like,
so
basic third grade chemistry.
Yeah.
Basic math.
To be fair, math is hard. I don't like math either. But I trust that the mathematicians out there know what they're doing. Yuck. So I'm going to read a little excerpt from this article about Mr. Dylan Wheeler, which is a fascinating article that I will link in the show notes because I'm going to remember this time. So it says it was around 2012 that Wheeler started following Alex Jones, buying around 50 bumper stickers along with an unknown number of Jones's other awesome products. Wheeler even described Jones as one of his top 5 living heroes and gave him credit for red-pilling him. Later, in 2017, Wheeler described Ben Shapiro, Alex Jones, and Milo Yiannopoulos as important people in my life. Alex Jones's influence clearly rubbed off on the young Wheeler, who in 2014 tweeted that Obama, Oprah, Osteen, Dr. Dre, Kanye, Jay-Z, Bieber, Fiancé, Pope, Kim Jong-il were all demonically possessed elites who should repent. I'm on board with him for that one, frankly. He also stated that he was starting to see the lizard eyes behind demonically possessed people. In 2018,
oh yeah, this guy is completely hinged. That's the opposite of unhinged, right? They're hinged.
Something like that, yeah. It says he's also skeptical of vaccines, fluoride, GMOs, and aspartame, believing them to be poisons. Aspartame is a poison.
How does he feel about Common Core?
Wake up, sheeple. He, believes in the existence of chemtrails, obviously.
Of course.
And FEMA camps for putting people in when martial law is declared. There's the other...
Obviously.
See, at some point, that's going to happen.
But the protesters being taken off the streets are just thugs being removed.
Well, obviously. You got to support the police department when they are going along with your particular agenda, and then protest them when they're not, I have
a caveat to that. Mm-hmm. I saw there was the protesting that just took place because this is the second or another murder. Well, I don't know if it's a murder. It's an attempted murder. And he hasn't passed away yet at all. Hopefully not in Wisconsin. And for people listening later. And there was protest and there was shooting back and forth. And this one kid was like shooting people with an AR something, an AR something. And people had pistols and they were cheering the kid with the AR something that was shooting the protesters in the head and stuff because he supports their side. Like, none of that is okay. Like, it's...
People are terrifying.
Like, it is really scary. And these are people... I read this article when I was doing my extensive research. It was like NPR stuff. And it was like, it was Vox. It was like, you literally can't tell who's in on this conspiracy that literally believes that some deep evil is going to awaken them and they're going to need to get called to arms because they are moms. They are just people at the park. They're just, whoever. They're just random Americans. It's a really scary thing because it is building up an army.
A constant, yeah.
And because they're filling them with fear because that's the number one motivator. And power, like they feel a sense of entitlement and power, and
they feel again like they have some control over the universe, and
there is no control over the universe. God's not real, and you're just a speck.
Sorry to break it to you harshly. Everything really is
and
fucking
also your
chaos.
hair looks stupid.
Yeah, there's not a reason for everything. Right. Sorry, Jenny. I don't know what to tell you. No reason for everything. That was not aimed at any particular Jenny. I just want to qualify that. It's just a very common name.
And don't have dreads if you're a white person, because come on.
Oh, hard agree.
Can we stop?
Okay, I have a question.
I don't care how granola you are.
Do you think, this is totally off topic, but we're going to come back to QAnon.
This is what we do.
So do you think that with all that's been going on with Mount Rushmore and us starting to realize that we really took a whole bunch of land from the Native Americans and we're starting to figure out that was bad, do you feel like it's a kind of a shitty time to take a vacation to Mount Rushmore? And especially with the COVID thing,
honestly,
like a Black Hills vacation, it feels icky to me. I don't know.
It feels icky, but I mean, you're also giving money to the local economy.
Yeah, but I mean,
which
it's
is
mainly
helpful.
The local white economy, I would think. I would
go to a casino.
Well, there you go.
But I go to casinos everywhere I go.
I mean, if you're not going to a casino, like I
wear a mask. The casino is the only place I've been in since March. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I've only been once.
Did everybody have masks on?
Everybody had masks on because they were strict about it. They were announcing it constantly. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so back to QAnon. Here's something that I find fascinating. So from this same article, it says, in 2013, Wheeler retweeted a tweet stating, "I have zero respect for police." Later in 2014, he tweeted that pigs can't be trusted. In this case, pigs refers to police officers. Yeah, we know. As late as the 16th of April, 2015, Wheeler mentioned the police brutality videos get me super pissed off. So at one point, and the point in this, the reason they're writing this in the article is that at one point, he really genuinely did get upset about police brutality, even towards Black people.
As you should.
But now, of course, he's kind of come around to the whole
Maybe they
Blue Lives
deserved
Matter
it.
thing, and
Right, because that fits his
whole
agenda.
shtick is just, his page is called Educating Liberals, so he's just totally on board with all the right-wingiest, conspiracyist, I don't know. I find it fascinating that the same people who believe that if black people would just clean up their act, you know, they wouldn't get shot by the police, or the people that claim, yeah, well, more white people get shot by the police than black people do, then why aren't you upset about it as a white person? I mean, if more white people are dying by the hands of police all the time and you don't care.
So maybe the police system needs an overhaul.
Yeah, but instead they totally back them, never give an inch. But you're arguing right now that white people are killed more than black people are by the police. So why aren't you up in arms about that? And why this blind support for law enforcement if they're killing your own people, white people? Like, they're the ones that claim to just, they're not racist, they just really love white people. I don't understand
they have a black
it.
friend, it's okay.
It's, well, at least one. They know a black guy from work, so.
Yeah, that guy hates him. Sorry,
Yeah.
hate to tell you.
100%, yeah.
Hates you. Behind your back. Hates you.
So yeah, how does Soros tie into all of this? Because I feel like Soros is in here somewhere.
Let me consult the Facebook page that I have. I haven't seen Soros. I saw Bill Gates.
Oh, Bill Gates is behind a lot of this shit.
So they shared an article that's legit, where it's Bill Gates, millions more will die in this pandemic, and freedom hinders the disappointing U.S. response, or whatever. It's MarketWatch. So that's like a legit source. And the comments, fuck this mutt, Gates go away, okay, Dr. Gates, stop the bullshit. He and Soros need to be investigated into the whole virus. Can't wait for the day him and Fauci are brought up on charges for this shit. Like, I don't
understand what they think Bill Gates has to gain.
Let me look in the deep state exposed and look for
Bill
Soros.
Gates is rich as fuck. He can just sit back and spend his money. What does he need control of the population for? Or why does he need to insert microchips?
Okay.
Who does this help? I don't.
So Facebook fact check board gets a lot of likes from Soros. So Soros is keeping the truth down.
Wait, is Soros on social media? I had no idea about that.
Human traffic. Oh, so the QAnon is really big on the human trafficking thing that's popped up right now with all the hashtags.
God, yes.
Which I've seen so many Mormons getting all up in arms about child trafficking suddenly, and it feels to me, which I'm sure it is jingly keys where everybody's like, look over here, ignore the virus, ignore all of this, ignore the Black Lives Matter, ignore the protest, ignore blah, 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 blah. Children are being trafficked, millions of children. And then in my local neighborhood groups, they were like, this Walmart in your town is #1 in the nation. I'm like, no, it's fucking not. Are you kidding me?
Ugh.
And then they're talking about if your kids wear masks, they're easier to get kidnapped. I'm like, no one's going to take my 17-year-old giant beast. No one. No one's
going to want him, frankly. I mean, same with my kids. Like, one of my friends had put, have you ever met a child? Yeah, they're really well known for being calm and compliant with strangers at a store.
Like if someone grabs, even my 4-year-old stepson, if someone grabs his hand and tries to walk him out of the store, he will bite them.
Have you met children?
He bites me when I try to grab his hand and walk him out of the store because kids are assholes.
Yeah, kids don't give a shit. They're going to do what they're going to do where they are. They're going to
pee themselves and bite your hand, and they're going to scream. I remember when I was growing up, I think there was one time my sister screamed, "You're not my dad," or something at a grocery store just because she didn't want to go. Yeah. And it caused all kinds of things. And it was with our parents.
Yeah, that's scary.
That's with parents. What do you think they're going to do to these?
We should be more scared of the children.
I hate to burst the bubble. The people that are being trafficked, this is awful. This is a terrible, terrible truth. It's an awful, awful thing. They are being bred for it. There are people in sex trafficking rings and stuff, when they get pregnant, that baby is born into child trafficking. Like, that's what's happening. It's true. That's what's happening. It's awful and true. No one's taking your kid. No one's taking Tucker from Walmart. Not really.
No.
You know, that's what's happening. I know it's awful, but that's what's happening.
I feel like a lot of this is, you know, white people didn't seem to care as much when, I mean, people from other countries have been getting trafficked for years and years and years.
Especially Asian countries forever.
Yeah, like they get promised that they're going to get a job as a maid or something here, and then they're just trafficked. It's happened.
Right.
But suddenly people give a shit, and you have pictures of cute little white kids with some scary stranger's hand trying to pull. Come on. Like, yeah, we had
Kids
a little
were
rally.
more in danger in the 80s. It's true.
Yeah,
America is actually safer than it's ever been.
Yeah. Especially when it comes to
number
stranger
one,
abductions.
all of those Amber Alerts and stuff are from someone that they know most often.
Usually
it's
a family member.
Thing. That's it. Like, that's
stranger abductions are so fucking
really,
rare.
really, really rare.
And do you think that really there's this huge cabal of child
We're going to lose
sex
so many
traffickers?
Republican listeners.
Of all these child sex traffickers who are just like, yes, they're finally all wearing masks. Now is our time. We can get all of them. Let's go to Walmart.
That is what they are convinced of. They're convinced of this crap. Like, I've seen people posting crying, sobbing YouTube videos. I go to these pages every couple of days because it's just... I can't help it. I can't help it. And then I go to the local Facebook groups, and I just can't help it. But I found another podcast friend. Like, this lady was like standing her ground in Black Lives Matter, and she was being like this little badass in there. And I clicked on her profile because I'm like, she's got to be in the liberal women group or something out here. No, we have 16 friends in common, and all of them are podcast people. All of them. Wow. And it's like not people that have podcast even, but like podcast affiliated. Mm-hmm. And so
podcast
I was
adjacent.
Like, hey. Right. So I sent her a friend request. I'm like, I'm some random person she's never even interacted with. But then she accepted it because I guess she went to my page and saw the 16 people also. And then I sent her a message. I'm like, hey, it's nice to know there's another, podcast person in this, shit town in Texas. And she was like, yeah, it's great. And I haven't dropped that I have a show because I don't want to be that guy, but
Yeah. I hate the
gentleman caller was like, do it. She likes podcasts. You have a podcast. Do it. Do it. Like,
I mean, part of me is like, I love the shameless self-promotion, but yeah, when it's one-on-one, and especially if it's somebody that you're just like, hey, I have a podcast. Go check it out.
Right?
I don't know. It feels weird.
So you have ears, right? Mm-hmm. Check out this.
There's like podcasting has become just so everybody's got a fucking podcast. So like, how do you tell people I have a podcast?
Especially
but
during
good?
The pandemic. But we've actually done it for 3 years. Like, we were doing podcasts before it was cool.
I don't know. We started doing it right when it got cool. I feel like
but it was still in the atheist podcast community. Mm-hmm. Still just a bunch of dudes talking to themselves.
It's true. Very true. Sorry, I'm answering a text
believe we've
about
referred
what
to
time
it
the
as a
hot
circle
dish was
jerk.
put in. Yes, we do.
I have referred to it as a circle jerk.
It's a good thing it's totally changed, though. I mean, the entire landscape of atheist podcasting has gotten so diverse.
And
no,
scandals
it has not.
just shut people right down, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Their shows just don't keep going, and they don't keep having listeners and downloads and...
Well, the Me Too movement has just canceled everybody. Everybody's canceled now for nothing. So, that's what we do. We're the lady podcasters who ruin it for everybody by canceling everybody. I don't know if you had heard that.
So basically, this group, the blurb of the group is, this is a group for those who know the deep state, the cabal, and all its high-level players, sickos, and criminals are all flailing under the Trump administration. Collectively, we know there is a terror group who has been running our world for decades. This isn't a place for those who don't already believe.
Ugh.
So that's where I went for my information because, the liberal media can't be trusted.
Right. Obviously. Again, like why?
Lots of GoFundMe's in here.
What's the benefit of this group of people that's running everything, and why? I just can't wrap my brain around it. They're calling Kenosha riots
civil war.
I feel like we're gonna probably have a civil war.
Patriot militias.
I mean, that's gonna happen. I really feel like
calling it a patriot militia against Black Lives Matter, it's just disgusting.
I mean, the word patriot.
And then there's this meme of this little girl wearing a mask, and it says, "What if wearing a mask makes me feel unwell?" And it says, "Stand for health, freedom."
Oh my God, I really hate everybody right about now. I just every day I feel like I can't hate people more, and then I do.
This group
every
has
single day.
1.3 thousand members. That's not too bad, actually. My local liberal group has more people. My local liberal group has 3,000. But it's
mine has 186.
We're so awesome. We have our own magnets for our cars, and then when we see one out in the wild, we flip it upside down. I need to get one.
That's awesome.
But, I know.
We're getting T-shirts for the boat thing that happened a few weeks ago.
We're getting T-shirts for the show. I'm very excited about our T-shirt.
We have new merch.
Soup cans.
I made new merch. I want
it. I almost ordered one. I'm like, I don't give money to myself.
Well, and I'm pretty sure that we can get.
But I don't know about the sizing because I have big chest and I don't know about sizing.
Well, and I think we can get a discount because it's our shop. I haven't looked into it, but I'm pretty sure there is. So don't just order one. I'll give you the login and then you can log in as us. And I spent
did you know
all day on this fucking
Manhattan is a ghost town now?
Manhattan? Oh, clearly. Yeah. Nobody lives there anymore.
This is the video of what the Democrats under Mayor de Blasio has done to Manhattan. The Big Apple is now a rotten core. Please share, patriots. This was one day ago. And it's just a video of, it's obviously like some kind of, it's a route that's like a parade route that's set up. Or maybe they were getting ready for protest because they have the windows or some kind of storm, like an old video from when Sandy hit the land. Because they have news vans everywhere. And then they have plywood up on windows, and then they have those things for crowd control, those barriers up for crowd control.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just out of the window of a car driving down the street, and then they're saying that it's a boarded up ghost town in New York City, which is bullshit. Because I bet if you Google Earth New York right now, it's bustling, even though they're supposed to be quarantining.
I feel like Google Earth is they put fake images in there to trick us into thinking that people still live in Manhattan when they really don't. Because Bill Gates can do that. Bill Gates has access to all of it. So he's just controlling all of our minds at this point. Oh my gosh, have you watched the new Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix yet?
No.
So there's the first episode is about this guy who jumps from a tall building, and the authorities just call it suicide, but then his wife and the family is there's no way it could have been suicide. There was, somebody killed him. And there's good arguments for both of those. When you hear that it's suicide, you look at it and you're like, but if he jumped from here, how would he get over there? And his cell phone was just sitting somewhere not touched. There is all of this sketchy information, and so they kind of leave it with, was he killed? Or, they make it seem like there is no way he would have done that to himself. But then I watched a YouTube video. I don't know if you've heard of Dr. Grande, but I've been watching a lot of Dr. Grande on YouTube. He is delightfully nerdy. Is he related
to Ariana and Frankie?
Probably. He is cool. I believe a psychotherapist of some sort who sits in a really boring room and looks at the camera and just does these 20-minute videos about random stuff. And he's very focused, unlike us. He sticks to the topic. He says his things. But he kind of reviewed this case and made an excellent case for this guy just started having psychosis that he was hiding from his wife, and he was getting really, really into the Freemasons. And he started to believe that the Freemasons were controlling everything. And he had left this long, like, cryptic, not really a note, but just a bunch of weird writing that had all this weird shit in it.
Like a manifesto?
Kinda, but not even like a manifesto. It was... I don't know.
I love the word manifesto. Like, I want to have like a good manifesto for this company. We do.
Yeah, so I'm watching this video, and they were saying, you know, with the tied into the whole Freemason things, there's all these movies that people who believe that the Freemasons are controlling everything really like, and one of them is The Matrix, and he had listed that in this letter that he wrote.
Because no one else but the Freemasons likes The Matrix.
Yeah. Oh, God. I can't even start on The Matrix. People are going to hate. Now we're going to lose listeners if we shit on The Matrix.
I didn't like the last. But I liked the first one. Okay.
Boring.
But the second and third, and I guess there were more. Yeah, like, are you kidding me?
I didn't even bother trying those. But apparently, so he lists all these. He's got like Eyes Wide Shut and a couple of other.
I've heard that one. That's
the Da Vinci Code and National Treasure and all this shit. So it made sense to me that, like, okay, maybe he did this.
About codes?
Yeah. Maybe he did this to himself. And then somebody in the comment section wrote, well, yeah, and The Matrix has a huge scene where you have to jump onto, like, through a window to get back into the real, or to get back into the something like, I haven't watched it in forever, but basically what this guy did is almost just like that. Like, there was a skylight right next to, he fell from a tall roof onto a subroof that was still really high up, but he didn't hit the ground. He fell onto this subroof that had a skylight in it.
And he died?
Hole right through the thing, and fell into a room that nobody uses, so they didn't find him for like a week. Gross. But like, it would make total sense that he was trying to recreate that from The Matrix, and that's all the pieces kind of fit there.
People believe that we're in a Matrix, and I haven't really seen any evidence that we're not.
True. I mean, all of it, the whole point of The Matrix is you don't realize you're in The Matrix.
Right. So maybe that's what the deep state is. They're realizing that they're actually in a Matrix.
Could be. I start to...
Do you think they'd believe in science a little more?
I don't know. I feel like if you know you're in the Matrix, but you know what the alternative is, why is it so bad to choose to be in the Matrix? I feel like the Matrix was great, right? Everybody was living their life.
I would be like solidly in the Matrix. I'm like,
people in
can
like
you
weird
upgrade me a little
pods
bit?
or something?
I want more money.
If they weren't in the Matrix, like, okay, put me in the weird pod and upload good stuff to my brain. I'm fine with that. I don't get what the ruckus was about, but I also didn't like the movies, so yeah.
Yeah, I saw it like once or twice. I'm fine.
I saw it one time with an ex-boyfriend who I just was just not a quality person
I was married to.
I saw it with a boyfriend that I dated for too long because he was really popular in high school, and it turned out he wasn't. What's the word to use? He wasn't smart at all.
Yeah,
not even a
that's
little
the
bit.
word. Yeah,
he was a big beefy football player, but he was really pretty.
I get it.
I was just like,
so you know what happens to those guys in their 40s is they become really thirsty.
Ooh. Well, I mean, this was in my 20s, so.
Well, yes, I understand that, but now in the dating pool, it's in the 40s, and now they're just like, no one's paying that kind of attention to them anymore, and they crave it.
I've always felt like it's got to suck to be the type of person where you peaked in high school, and high school was great, and you were popular, and everybody loved you. And
I peaked right now, like this second, so I feel great right now.
Yeah, I feel like my life is better now than it's ever been.
My life is way better than it was.
Even though I'm old and sick and decrepit and all that shit, like still, my life is way better now than it ever was.
I feel like I'm hotter than I was in high school, even though I'm way fatter.
I'm definitely hotter than I was in high school.
I feel so much more like myself, and I'm owning things, and I feel like I can rock those angles and get good pictures. And
kids in your 20s and teens, it gets better. It really does.
It's so much better.
You
and those guys that didn't give you the time of day,
but then they don't age well either.
They end up in your DMs or whatever it's called in the future, and they're like, hey girl, I almost asked you to prom. I've gotten a couple of those. Almost asked you to prom. It's fine. I had 2 dates anyway. You didn't need to get in line. So they were like, yeah, I almost asked you to prom. What would you have said? I'm like, probably no. And then, or they'll come in and be like, I always had a crush on you in high school. Did you like me? You've got to say no. You have to, even if it's not true, because they're thirsty motherfuckers and that they want you to want them, and you don't. Even if you did then, you don't now, because trust me.
Oh, you do not want them now. They're
has
not.
A drinking problem, an ex-wife that he doesn't pay child support, and really shitty kids.
Well, and not only that, but like when you had that crush on that person, it was you were idealizing that person. If you never actually dated them, you were building them up in your head to be this wonderful person. As it turns out, you were wrong, and they were not wonderful people.
You were right to not ever get a chance with him.
They were just
here's
cute.
The other thing.
Cuteness doesn't mean anything.
The one that was like one of the ones that was like, hey, I almost asked you to prom. What would you have said in my DMs or Facebook Messenger or whatever? This was a couple years ago. His page is all conspiracy crap now.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
And he's a Freemason.
Oh my God.
He posts all kinds of Freemason stuff. And there's no way I would have gone to prom with him. Even if I had 0 dates, I would have gone with my friends.
First rule of Freemasons, you don't talk about Freemasons.
I just know it because he'll randomly post something about an award he's gotten or some kind of
I feel like
level he's reached or whatever. No, he has like goofy robes and hats and pins and stuff. I don't know.
Okay.
But
weird.
Yeah, there's no way I would have gone to prom with him. And I was like, well, I already had a date, so I would have said no. And he was like, fair enough. Like, okay, dude. And he's like, I had a crush on you in high school. Did you know? I'm like, yes, I knew. You bore a hole in the back of my head during government class. I knew. I ignored you because I knew.
If anybody told me that they had a secret crush on me in high school, I would know they are lying immediately. I just would. I
assumed everybody did. I always do.
I'm the opposite. I assumed nobody had a crush on me in high school. And
I walk in every room, I'm like, everybody's in love with me right now.
I mean, I feel like that
break
now.
Some hearts.
I feel like that now. Right. I did not feel like that in high school. So
here's the thing. This is who I was in high school. Like, I was me in high school. And that's how my attitude was just like, everybody should like me. Everybody should be in love with me. And then I got married at 19 and it kind of crushed that part of me because he didn't like the fact that I was so confident and whatever. And so over the years, it kind of like wore it down.
Well, you're Mormon.
But then as soon as
you're not supposed to be confident.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, I'm mispronouncing Mormon. But then as soon as that was gone, that aspect was gone, I'm just me again, only like dialed way up because, I'm 27 now.
Yeah. Well, plus as you age and get to 28 and 29, you'll find that life just really changes a lot. You mature a lot in those years. And
from that jump from 27 to 45 is really big.
It's a pretty big jump. But
it's a big jump. I've got to stop saying 27 when my son turns 18 in February. I feel like,
just
I
count on people not to do the math.
What is that, 9?
Something like that. It's possible. I mean, kind of, technically. Right, it could be. I don't know.
Gross. No, not for me. 14, 13.
Yuck.
Gross.
That kills me. I don't.
Yeah, I'm 33.
I feel like
12 is better.
And again, nothing to do with QAnon whatsoever. But I really strongly feel like allowing, like, if a 12-year-old gets pregnant, I don't care how.
Oh my God, give her an abortion, please.
I almost feel like it's child abuse to have that kid
15,
go through with the pregnancy.
That's the math.
Like that's
yes.
How is that not child abuse to have a 12-year-old go through the trauma of pregnancy and childbirth?
And it is traumatic to your body.
It is trauma. And to like look at a 12-year-old and no, abortion immediately. that's a child and you are inflicting all kinds of trauma on them. I just... Ugh.
And then even if they go immediately to abortion, or not to abortion, to adoption, which they do a lot of times,
Not good enough.
Still the longing of missing out on that baby.
You still have that. You're still going to have...
You have that emotional connection and everything.
And even if you you've still had that 9 months.
They force the adoption.
Oh, of course they do.
Through the Mormon social services, and it's terrible. I knew a lot of people that it was very traumatic, and they got pregnant within a year afterwards. These are people that got pregnant like 15, 16 years old. Yeah. All of them that I knew from back then had a baby within a year of the church taking their baby from them, and kept that baby. And then they were young single moms or married at 18 and miserable. It's so sad. Everybody, I've known at least 4 or 5 people that was the case. Mm-hmm. It's gross.
And even just the 9 months of pregnancy itself is traumatic. Like having a kid go through that.
I hate pregnancy. Yeah.
Pregnancy's not fun. I've never met a person who loved it.
I was never one of those people that was like, I love this part. I feel like I'm I'm glowing and I'm so strong. No, I'm peeing myself. I'm puking on myself. I have heartburn. I'm miserable.
Yeah. It's not comfortable.
I feel gigantic. If I lay on my back, my right leg falls asleep. Like, this isn't fun.
It is not comfortable at all.
No.
I'm shopping online as we talk, just so you know. I'm trying to decide if I want Reese's Pieces or if I should get the big bag.
You can get Reese's Pieces online?
Well, I'm ordering a Walmart grocery pickup.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I guess technically it's not online. It's kind of online shopping.
I got groceries like the day before yesterday, and I
did
not get some candy.
We're hungry. Yeah, you can buy candy
beer
at the grocery store. It turns out candy is delicious.
I know that. I just never do.
Yeah.
So
do we know anything else about QAnon? Do we?
I don't know anymore. I feel like it's true.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and
you got to feel it.
I'm going to start watching all the videos.
If it feels true, it probably is. That's really a good motto to go by in life.
Right. I don't really believe in researching fake sources. I'm a big fan of Guts and YouTube.
Yeah. I've been watching this series on Netflix called Unwell. And it's about, there's like 6 episodes maybe, but they're all about different kind of alternative medicine things. So there's one on essential oils and one on ayahuasca and one on fasting.
What take does it have, that they're bad or good?
It honestly does kind of both. I mean, I think they're really fair to the people who are really into it, but they also are interviewing the people that are like, no, this shit is bad, don't do this. So I don't think they're putting a heavy take either way. Like, the take is kind of that it's not good to do. Yeah, there's plenty of doctor pushback and like, what the fuck are you doing? Don't do this. But I mean, they let the people who do it have their say, and I feel like they don't try to portray them badly. But the thing that you'll notice is that in every single one, you hear people say just like, I feel like it works. I just feel like it does.
Effect.
I feel like it's true. Or I believe in this. I believe it works. And like, no, that's not how medicine works. You
can't discount that, of course. Right. Like every time I take a pill, like I pray about it, and then I just feel that
doesn't make it work. You can feel like eating peanut butter is the same as giving yourself an insulin injection if you have diabetes, but it's not. Like, it's not, peanut butter is not insulin. Peanut butter has
sugar in it.
Yeah, it's not insulin. I don't know what to tell you. It's terrible. Yeah. No, the one on essential oils is fascinating. It's really
okay.
No, the whole series is actually really good. I'm just running out of shit to watch, so because I'm tired all the time. Because now I'm on new big pharma medicines, and yeah.
I've gone back and been watching Project Runway. So that's what I've been doing. I've been binging 90 Day
Fiancé.
I kind of stopped. We petered out. We kind of stopped.
It gets by season 4. It's like the people they get are so over the top that you're just like, really? I don't.
And then I watched the the like spinoff series, and I watched a couple seasons of that, but I'm just
Yeah, I like to currently. I have another new YouTube channel that I really like called Psychology in Seattle, and it's on YouTube, and you can just, some of them are just audio, but it's just this psychologist who is a professor, and he's got a really good voice, and he's skeptical, and he talks about all these different issues, and he's just fascinating. And so I listen to him when I'm trying to sleep. But he did a little series where he focused on like one of the couples from 90 Day Fiancé, because some of his, I guess, fans wanted him to. And so he'll watch a little bit of it and then be like, here's what's going on, like psychologically. Like, and he's always got the disclaimer, like, I don't know these people. You can't diagnose someone until you have been actually talking to them.
There's some people with some serious issues on this
he's
show.
like, in my opinion, here's the issue here. And so I've been like watching an episode and then going and watching his thing and then watching another episode, then watching his thing.
Who was he doing?
So the one I'm watching now is, God, what are their names? The one where I think it's season 4, and there's the girl whose fiancé is in Morocco, and she goes to Morocco.
Saddest.
And
she is a mess. She is absolutely
such a fucking mess. And you are watching the guy just be like, what have I gotten myself into?
Well, there's the spin-off series, and she's in that one too, because they never get married.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know she was in that.
So they don't get married. Sorry, spoiler.
Wait, are you thinking of the one in season 1, the 41-year-old with the guy from Tunisia?
Nope.
No, you're
Tunisia.
thinking of...
No, I'm talking about the one in Morocco where she goes to see him.
Okay. Yes.
So they don't get married in that season, and so they're in the spinoff because they're still trying to get the visa approved. Right? Nicole. Her name's Nicole. And she hits him at one point. Like they're in this massive screaming match in the street.
He stays with her?
And he's embarrassed, and she actually slams into him, like body slams him, and she's like a bigger girl.
Yeah.
And she like slams into him and hits him on camera, and then she goes and cries and makes him apologize to her.
Oh my God.
It's abusive behavior.
She is such a mess. You can see, like, I feel bad for him.
And she cheats on him.
Yeah.
She cheats on him. Like, there was, I don't know which season it was. It was, if it was that one or the next one, where there was like a problem with her spending time with a friend, and then one thing led to another, and she slept with him, which I've never had that friend hang out unless I was going over there to fuck them.
Yeah.
But she, in later seasons, she goes and hangs out with that friend again.
Oh gosh.
But she's like, nothing happened. It's like, sure, bro. Sure.
Yeah.
Like, why are you, he's like a hot guy, but I don't think he's very well either. I don't know. There's issues.
She's just the whole, Go watch 90 Day Fiancé if you're listening to this. It is fascinating. You'll get bored by about season 4, but stick with it through at least that one. So I hear dinner upstairs, and I'm really hungry.
That's fine.
So I'm going to go eat. Now that we've taught everything
like I'm gonna go
about
join
QAnon.
Deep State.
Yeah.
And
keep warning us. Keep us all in the loop
evangelical
so that we know what they're
churches,
doing.
Because I think that they know what's up.
I think so too. I think they're part of it. And the lizard people. Can't forget about the lizard people.
And I'm going to go drink another bad beer. That's probably bad.
Good idea. I'm going to eat some good old-fashioned Minnesota hot dish. So
I don't know what that means.
It's delicious.
None of those words.
So
Minnesota,
bad for
none
you.
of those are words.
They really are. All right. Thank you for listening, everybody. If you enjoyed this amazing, well-informed content that we've just provided, become a patron. And there's a whole
research, our red strings on the bulletin board.
Yeah, there's a whole Conspiracy Chowder series. We've done one on lizard people. We've done one on. We did one on
Sex
COVID
cult.
Cures. All kinds of weird shit. So you'll learn.
We did a sex cult, the Raelians.
Oh, the Raelians. I forgot about them. Yes, we did that.
They are a 70s sex cult. Come on, bro.
Yeah, there's some sort of other weird conspiracy theory about people being murdered in April or something. I don't know. I don't remember any of it because I didn't research any of it.
We've done all kinds of stuff.
But yeah, become a patron. We would enjoy that. Thank you. So we will see you on the next episode, and become a patron. Bye.
Bye.
That's the noodle to brag.
And once again, it is time to give shout-outs to our wonderful patrons. We may have forgotten to do this last week. I don't know, because everything previous to this moment in time is a blur. Everything's shit, and my brain doesn't work anymore because presidential debates and COVID and all that shit. But we're going to start fresh right now. Amy and I thought of a couple different ways to do our shout-outs, and I think we have landed on just one of us reading them because we cannot be trusted together. We just will go on for 5 hours, and we figured out that's not good for podcast business. So we're going to trade off reading them. Probably going to be at the end of the show, possibly the middle of the show. Still kind of working that out with Rich. But you will get your shout-outs. If you contribute $6.66 a month or more, you will get a shout-out every single week. And as always, we will shout out all new patrons that we get every week. So can't promise we'll do it correctly, because we're lady podcasters. But let's see what we can do here. So and like I haven't done this in a few weeks, so I don't know who I've mentioned and who I haven't. So we are just going to, I'm going to be generous here and say that Steven Rubino gave us $2 a month chicken noodle soup level, which is fucking awesome. I always love it when people don't just start at the $1 level, they go straight to doubling that. I think that's amazing. So thank you so much, Steven. We have also got, let's scroll up our list here and see who looks new, and I'm probably going to fuck it up and miss somebody. Oh, so we've got, and I do not know how to pronounce this. This is a former patron who looks like they have become a new patron, and I am so happy about that, but I still can't pronounce the name. So I'm going to say KuiperBeltTransport.space or KeeperBeltTransport.space. I have no idea. Feel free to send me a message that I may or may not get in a timely manner. Who knows? But thank you so much for coming in at our bread bowl level. That is $4 a month. That is amazing. Thank you so much. We've got Ashley as a new patron, but I think I mentioned that last time. So you get a freebie, Ashley. Let's see, going up the list, we get to Devil's Chili. So our Devil's Chili patrons, these are the people that donate at $6.66 a month or more. We have Andy, Schmistina, Paul, Nuggin, Natalie. Lois is a new patron. I don't know if I mentioned her as a new patron last time, but she is a friend of ours on Facebook, and we met her at Skepticon, and she became a patron, which is fantastic. Thank you, Lois. We've got Life in the Left Lane podcast, who we really need to do some more stuff with because they are so much fun. We recorded with them one time. We need to make that happen again. We've got Justice for Breonna Taylor. No Justice, No Peace. That is Alice. Thank you so much, Alice, for continuing to be our solid patron. We've also got Joel from Florida Men podcast, which you should check out. We have got Freethinker 215, as always. We've got April, who I don't think is new. I'm sure I could find out if I looked at a different setting, but I'm bad at that. So we've also got Wendy, Verlaine, our 89th favorite Rich. We've got Renee, whose bowl is still fucking sitting on my desk waiting to go out. All I have to do is apply a coat of top coat to it, and since I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna fucking do that today and just get it done. So if you pledge at the $10 level or more, you get a personalized soup bowl. So I actually make it myself and then I mail it to you. And Renee is the next in line to get theirs, and I just haven't fucking finished it yet. I put all the final fun details on it, but, you know, gotta put that top coat on. So we've also got Elvin Engineer, who did get their bowl, as far as I can tell, and I think let me know that. But again, my memory is shot because 2020 is the worst and it's trying to kill me. Also at the Lobster Bisque level, we have got Disco Stew wants you to please support the ACLU and Planned Parenthood. I could not agree more. Please do support Planned Parenthood and the ACLU. They are amazing organizations. We have got, let's see, Ashley, who is our favorite patron ever, of course, obviously. She's never going to not be. We love you, Ashley. We've got our perfectly fine patron who we got to talk to on our live DrunkCast, which I will link in the show notes. Since we reached our goal of 50 patrons, we got to do a live DrunkCast that we had been promising people for about 2 years on YouTube, and it was so much fun. I fucked up and the internet died halfway through it, so we had to restart. It was a whole thing, but I made an amazing director's cut. I'm going to link it in the show notes, and you can watch that. So Randall, you are perfectly fine. We enjoyed talking to you. You're a great patron. We have also got our second place top patron, who is Supernatural is good, but it's not really worth all the time required. I'm going to agree with that line too. Supernatural is good, but I'm not going to devote my life watching 85 seasons of it, or however many there are. I don't know. There's too many of them. But it's a good show. And once again, coming in at the top spot, $42 amazing a month, which is, you hear me say every time that I just don't get it. We don't deserve that much money from one person in a month. But we'll happily take it, because Amy had to buy whiskey for the DrunkCast, so it was well spent. Our top patron, once again, Sarah bullied me into changing my name. So Sarah bullied me into changing my name. Thank you so much for being our top patron. I think I got everybody. I don't know if I mentioned Utah Outcasts, which was a new, that's who put us over the 50 patron mark. So thank you so much, Utah Outcasts. I also, in the show notes, have a link to our appearance on their show, which was also so much fun. So just look in the show notes. I do a lot of work on these and put a lot of fucking links in there. So almost anything we talked about in the show is in the show notes with a link, so you can easily find it. And yeah, that's how we're going to do patrons from now on. If we forgot to give you a shout out, please send us a message and let us know. I am so sorry. We definitely want to make sure we're doing that. So everybody have a great week or two. Try to stay alive. I know 2020 is trying to kill us all, but thank you again so much for your patronage.
Thanks to all of you motherfuckers who put up with the Amy's droning on week after week. If you enjoy their delightful bitchcraft, please follow them on all of the social medias and send them all of your money on Patreon or PayPal. You can find them on these platforms by using the Google machine. It's not hard. If you want to bitch with other fans about the show, join the Secret Soup Talk Facebook group. If you want to tell Amy and Amy to fuck off personally, you can send an email to secularsouppodcast@gmail.com, although it may go unanswered. Please rate and review the show on iTunes, Facebook, and wherever else you can review things like this. It will help spread the soup gospel far and wide. And hey, text someone right now. Tell your friends. As always, we'll leave you with the vocal stylings of Mr. Eli Bosnick.
Secular soup creed. Soup is the ultimate virtue. It's delicious, nutritious, patriarchy smashing, racism fighting, warm and fuzzy, human affirming, fun having, anti-theist, glitter throwing, tummy satisfying, pair of new shoes fulfilling, diversity seeking, happiness. Minestrone, beef and barley, chicken broth and split pea, gazpacho, tomato, clam chowder and potato, chicken noodle, beef noodle, egg drop and ramen cup, miso, gumbo, leek and pho. Grab a bowl and taste the magic. Slurp even this.
Start recording that one.
Oh yeah, are we recording ourselves?
Yes. Always.
Mm-hmm.
I'm paranoid now.
I don't blame you.
So yeah, if one of us drops off, just keep Audacity going, because it's easier that way.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Yeti is on Audacity. Got
Audacity's taking its sweet time to open.
Got my mono.
Yes, discard projects.
Exit recording. There we go.
Mono, Yeti, speaker. Okay, I'm ready.
All right, so I will count backwards from 5 and hit record. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.